So I was just sitting here with Oro and little Otto, and just a thought came to me that, how to use the dark side or, dark realms, dark force, etc. for good. Can it be done, and how so? I guess this is that video. Sorry, feeling a little bit despondent this morning. Just looking at the world and wondering what the fuck. What the fuck? What are they doing? How unconscious are people? Like, got 1 billion people starving and still nobody wants to plant food plants in the street. Well, you're just begging for your own demise then. I'm lost on how lost they are. It's just unbelievable. I'm just despondent today thinking about it all last night. Yeah, anyway. So I was thinking about, how do you use the dark side for good? Well, this just happened before. I was thinking about little Oro here and little Bushy. And I was thinking, if I leave this camping ground, which I think is going to happen maybe in a couple of months, and I'm going to go north, and my plan, well, what I want to do is, I don't know if that's going to happen. What you want doesn't always happen, right? It's like, here's what you want, and here's the universe. Anyway, so, I kind of want to go north, walking along the beach, and just, sleep on the beach in summer when it's warm enough. You just curl up in like one of these blankets or something, And I've got plenty of jumpers, that they're all free. I found all these clothes, except for those Quicksilver pants there. I bought them like years and years ago. But all this is free, and I thought I may as well use it to have a cool experience. I get bored easily. I can't stay here forever, and it's really good for stability here. But I'm gonna have to go, I think, in summer when the prices pick up. We'll see. Maybe I don't. Maybe I still can afford to have my camping here for the month, pay for it, and go for a month on the beach. That's what I would prefer. So in about 6 months from now, maybe I'll hold a fundraiser so I can do that, so I can keep the tent here, and then maybe I can get someone to feed Oro and keep him here, and maybe they can come every day and like fill up his bowl of food or something. Maybe I can pay someone here or something in pesos, It's pretty easy. But my point is, if none of that pulls off and I have to just go with him, I've realized for, the whole time I've had him, what am I going to do? Because I took him to the beach once and he was scared of the ocean, the sound, and he started making that noise like, "Roar, roar." He was clearly scared. He couldn't move or anything. Like the roar of the ocean and being on the sand, he was just, I don't know, discombobulated or something. And he got a bit scared, and it made me think, well, he's not going to be able to come with me, for a 250 kilometer 2-week journey north, right? I want to walk up to the north of Uruguay where the waves are and the surf is, and just see up there, just see all the way along the beach and make videos for you guys on survival food and surviving on the way up. Continue the Matrix, Man vs. Matrix series that I've got as a playlist. I'm not going to stop that one because I can see that, that I'm going to have to go into that as this apocalypse gets worse and worse. Eventually, I'll be homeless for sure. I'm sure I will. Whether I have, income or not. Like, I would prefer not to live with anybody. I'd prefer to be in the trees like this, surrounded by good singing. Trees have sound. They're singing. They sing themselves into existence. That's where the birds learnt it from. I've got a quote on that I made on Environmental Mental page in consciousazine.net. Anyway, I love being surrounded by the good music. The organic portals, they're horrible music. They're the horror show, right? The zombies at the horror show. This is the opposite in nature. It's the good music of the plants, and good vibrations, etc. Anyway, and I thought, you know, if I go north, how am I going to take him, because he's scared of the beach, and he couldn't walk properly in the lead. I got him a little lead, like a little leash, and he couldn't walk properly. I don't know, he's not into it really. And it's a fucking cat, you know. Cats are like little gods that are spirited humans. They're so free, especially Oro. He's super free, little Oro. And Oro means gold, by the way. Way showers empower gold and golden light, and I'm a golden way shower with a golden cat that came to me. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, he even made it through the dogs here of the camping. I have guard dogs. Anyway, it was amazing. Anyway, so, you know, I realised I can't take him north. So back to this video and the idea. Sorry, I have to give you that prelude so you can understand the context of all this. But, so back to the core of the idea of this video, how to use the dark side for, like, good. And, you know, you might say a white lie. A white lie. You've ever heard that saying? White lies are okay, people say, stuff like that. A white lie means you tell a lie and it's not the truth, but you do it. For instance, an example might be to keep the peace between you and a friend, or you and, I don't know, whoever, or to not get you in trouble with the government or the police officer. You lie to him, and I don't know, sometimes you do white lies, right? It's pretty hard to avoid in this world. I don't want to encourage you to lie or whatever, but, you know, you kind of have to, especially to organic portals. And that's where I would direct it to if I was to say, you know, you have to do it, which I kind of did. But anyway, so back to the core of this video. The idea is, you know, you can use the dark side like that, the lady, the ancient one out of, what's the movie? Doctor Strange, the Marvel series, or whatever it is. You know, the ancient one, she draws power from the dark dimensions, they say, right? And that's one reason she's the ancient one and older and all this and more wise and powerful and all that and better in technique and blah, blah, blah. That's the sense they give you in the movie. And I've thought about that since I watched that movie. You know, I realised I've done the same thing my whole life, naturally. And I thought, well, one day I'm going to talk about it, and it seems today is that day, so here we are. So how do we, you know, besides a white lie, the Oro example of the cat I was going to give was how to use the dark side, dark force, whatever, dark realms for good or benefit or whatever, and not nefarious benefit. That's not what I'm talking about. Nefarious, selfish, like really, you know, like that. I don't really want to encourage that at all, because that's going to close down the world. You know, bringing us into our egos more closes down the world. That's, you know, half the reason I'm against half side of the brain channel a bit sometimes too. Even though he has, like, good logic often, for that reason, you know, it's not a way. It's not a way forward. It closes down the way. The universe is expanding loving oneness. That's what it is. All these trees, they give in unconditional love. We can tell that that's the base of what this universe is. It's just the organic portals are trying to create hell on earth by, you know, all their nefarious bullshit, which we're not going to go into in this video, because I've got a series called Inorganic Portals Hell We Suffer, where we're going to talk about all that we're not in hell, but they're trying to make hell. Think about it. The universe is abundant. There's a whole planet made of diamonds. There's 6 times more iron ore on Mars than Earth. We have everything we need. There's 4 types of water on asteroids, 4 different types of water, 4 different types of vitamin D from the sun, which activates 1/3 of your body. Genetics, and except just, you know, you can eat the grass. Grass grows everywhere. It's the only plant to soak up all the minerals. I mean, we're in abundance. There's no question the universe is expanding loving oneness, and it is an abundant universe. But then you've got these scarcity-minded, slave-minded idiots. And I'm telling you that Flat Earth is part of that. That's why I'm not, you know, pro-Flat Earth. I've looked at every video created on Flat Earth. I'm not convinced. Some things are very convincing, very convincing. If you had a lesser mind than mine, you would fall straight into it. And I almost did. But there's something to it, and we're going to talk about it. So don't dislike the video that I'm just like fully against it. We're going to talk about it. The 2D second dimension has relative nature, but I do think it's generally a psyop. Anyway, so, and just many, I think that's how we stuffed up the spiritual movement too, by the way. Notice that after that, everything just went poof, dead. And then only what we have now is like organic portals movement, positive thinking movement, eating healthy, stuff like that. But everything just sort of was together around 2012, and it just went blat around the time Flat Earth came out, gang stalking. People just went, oh, I can't hang with that. Anyway, back to the core of this video. The way to use the dark dimensions for good is, for instance, in the Oro example of my little cat here, I'm going to have to teach him to stick close to me. Now, he already does it naturally because he loves me so much. And we have a really good relationship. I'm very happy with him. It makes me very sentimental. But, look, if I'm to give an example, this is a good example. In order to make him like more, follow me everywhere. Like he literally follows me everywhere around the camping. It's so cute. It's fantastic. That's really good because then, it's easier for me to look after him and he's not going to get hurt and etc. And he doesn't trust other people's food as much and so on. He's a good boy. I tell him he's a good boy. Hey, hello. Yes, he knows we're talking about him even. Smart little cats. Anyway, so the way I would use a dark reality for the good, the purpose of keeping him alive, you would have to agree is good, right? So it's for a good purpose to keep him alive. Now, how would I use darkness for that? Well, I would have to train him to only come to me for food. You say, well, that's a bit dark. So here's the point, like giving him less food so that he comes back every day for it or something. You know what I mean? That would be an example. Now you're like, oh, it's half dark, but it's an example for him to stay alive. So it's a way to use dark for good. So I don't know. White lies, that example. There's obviously other examples. I'm not going to keep you here all day. Just wanted to make you aware of that is a possibility to use the dark forces for good, but it comes with a huge responsibility and massive warning label, right? Because you can easily, fall into the feeling of power and go mad with power. And, you can easily fall into the dark side for as long as you want. It's said that you can, the dark force knows itself to have all thoughts that exist away from the stream. I always talk about forward vectorization and the stream. So that the dark side knows itself to have all thoughts that exist away from the stream, but and you can also, and what I was going to say was you can get lost in it for as long as you like, but you're still allowed to return to the light. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video, guys. Beautiful day. I'm going to head down to the beach.